Jerry Morant here, and I heard someone use the expression today. They were taking the plunge and they were talking about getting into something, and that reminded me of a trip took down to Australia. It was some 20 years ago now, and I was staying in a backpackers hostel, and I was up having breakfast and chatting with some of the fellow travelers there, and they said they were heading off to go bungee jumping. Well, nowadays everyone knows what bungee jumping is, but back then it was still relatively new, and it was pre-internet, so information wasn't out there so readily. So I wasn't really sure what they were talking about, but back then I was young and adventurous, so I thought, what the heck, I'll join these guys and see what they're up to. So we get out to this place, and there's this big pond, and over the pond there's this crane and a metal cage that they're hoisting up from the ground up to the top of this crane. And once the crane gets up to the top, you hear these guys shouting, 3, 2, 1, bungee! And this body comes flying off the box and starts heading down towards the water with this string attached to his feet. And again, it looked kind of like a movie scene, I guess, when you first look at it. You've never seen anyone do that before. But anyways, it was quite interesting. So we all signed up and got our turn, and so it was my turn to go up. I get in the box. I've got this elastic band strapped to my feet, and the crane slowly lifts you up, and you're looking around. You're getting to check out the scenery, and it looks quite nice. And your thing finally stops, and that's when you start looking down and you realize, wow, it looks really high from up here. It didn't look so high from down on the ground, but once you're standing up there on that platform and you start looking down, you're going, wow, I'm up here pretty high. And so then they start your countdown, and it's then that your body starts rebelling against you, saying, all your instincts are going, oh no, you can't jump, that's not natural, no one jumps from anywhere this high. And so when they get down to that one and they're ready to yell bungee, you've got to summon all your forces, and you got to go, all right, I've got to defeat this inner voice that's telling me not to, and I have to jump over this edge. And so I did. And it's amazing when you start soaring through the air. It does actually feel like you're flying. Well, actually, you're just dropping. But anyway, it's quite a sensation. It does give you quite an adrenaline rush. Your blood's pumping, and you're looking around, and then you start looking down at the bottom. And then as the tension in the bungee cord starts getting greater and greater, and you start getting closer and closer to the ground, then all of a sudden there's that split second where it just stops, and the bungee cord and gravity are kind of equal, and you go, that wasn't so bad. And then the cord gains momentum, and it starts pulling you back up, and you start bouncing back up in the air, and then you bounce back down, and you bounce up again. So you have all these bouncing up and down. I think that was probably worse than the actual initial jump off, because it gets you all disoriented. You don't know which direction you're going in, and eventually that slows down, and they lower you down, and you get down onto the platform, and they take your bungee cord off, and you got this feeling of accomplishment. You've overcome your fears, and you get this adrenaline rush that kind of pumps through your body and keeps you going. Actually, for the next few days or so, you have this feeling that, wow, I really did that. And I got to thinking about how that analogy is quite true for when you start doing your own home-based business. You consider the ride up in that cage as your initial starting point, where you're looking at all these different options, and you're looking around and you're seeing what there is. Some things look better than others, and you eventually, after looking for a while, you get to that point where you've decided, all right, yeah, I think this is the one to go for. And so you're standing there at the edge of that cage, at the top of the crane, and the countdown is on, and your mouse button's hovering over that join button, and finally you decide, all right, I'm going to click on it. You click that button, and that's when you start plunging into your new career as an online marketer. And the sensation is similar too. You get that adrenaline rush and you're all excited and everything's going because now you're all in. There's no turning back. You've signed in, you've paid for your systems and everything else, and you're all set to go. But then things start going awry from time to time. You get your ups and downs like you do with anything in life. So some days it's up, everything's great, you're getting some new sign-ins and everything's going great. Then other days it starts going down again where you've done everything you think of and nothing's going right. And so you get all these ups and downs, but then eventually, if you stick with it, you'll find that everything's going great and that you've got down to that platform, and then you get that feeling of accomplishment again. You've got your own business system, you've done everything, you've got yourself set now for some residual income from now and into the future. So that feeling of accomplishment and well-being sticks with you for a lot longer than it did after a bungee jump once everything gets going for you. So if you're on that precipice and you're just thinking about clicking that button, just think of the analogy of the bungee jumping and summon up some energy and take that plunge and start off into that new life and end up with the life of your dreams that you deserve by starting off in your own home business online. Thanks for listening. Bye.